y'all, and welcome back to Growing with Ray. So today, you guys, I decided to go ahead and do a voiceover with you all while I'm planting my tomato plants. In one of my lives, someone mentioned that they would like to know a few things that I've learned as a new gardener, or at least tips I should give a new gardener, I should say. This is my 5th growing season. I am in Kentucky's growing zone 7A, and right here I'm just starting my tomato plants. This is a video you all should have been able to see. If it hasn't come out yet, it will be coming out this week. And so we're just going to go ahead and get into the video. One of the biggest things that I learned about gardening very first off is to only grow what you eat. It was my first growing season. I got very ambitious and I decided to grow a whole lot of things. And when the produce was coming in, I had to figure out who to give them to because it was certain things that I had never tried. So that's the biggest thing. Don't overly be ambitious and grow things that you all are not going to eat. And that would actually bring me into tip number 2. And tip number 2 is to don't be afraid to try something new. Now, I know it may sound a little contradictory, but what I'm meaning by don't be afraid to try something new, my rule of thumb is like when I was vegan about 4 or 5 years ago now, and each week I would try a new vegetable and introduce it to myself and my child. So that's something I recommend doing each year on regards to each growing season. Each growing season I introduce something new. And that will just be something to see if we like it. If so, we'll grow more next year. If we don't like it, we won't grow it again. And I will be going to a seed swap or just giving that seed away to somebody that I know will eat such. Going into going into tip number 3, the other thing that I learned that really sticks in my mind, and maybe that's something you will see in my videos, is gardening should be fun. Don't take it too seriously. Now, I get it with the way present day things are going, or just in general, you want to grow your own food. This is survival. This is sustainability. I get that. But at the same time, I want to have fun doing this. If I take gardening way too serious, because no, I'm not trying to rely on the grocery store, but if I take it too serious, I'm going to lose the passion of liking it. I like gardening because it doesn't feel like work. I like gardening because it feels like a hobby, but it also has its benefits of feeding my family. You get it? So don't take things too seriously. With that, another thing is to sow your seeds at the right time, you guys. When it comes to seed starting, you can find a lot of resources online. You can find it on YouTube University. You can simply Google it. I mean, a lot of your seed packs actually tell you, if not all seed packs. I think the only ones that don't tell you, some of Baker Creek seeds don't tell me when to start them, I believe. Or they may not tell me how long it takes for them to grow. I don't want to misspeak on that. But sow your seeds at the right time. And I say that because I remember my 3rd year of gardening. When I started my peppers and my tomatoes, I also started like my cucumbers and watermelons and things of that nature. And boy, oh boy, do they grow so quickly. Not the tomatoes and peppers, but it's the watermelons and the cucumbers, any cucurbits, the squashes. Those things grow so quickly and so big. And I had to up pot like nobody's business. It was ridiculous. I actually think some of them ended up not making it and I had to restart them. But it was at the correct time. But yeah, definitely learn when to grow things, when to start things. That's more videos that I will be starting to post for you guys if you are in growing zone 7A, just so that we are on the same schedule. Another thing that I learned, you guys, and this will be tip number 5, is you can test the odds in your area. And what I mean by that is a lot of times that I've noticed in the gardening community, some people that I'm finding now aren't too much saying that, but there have been sticklers in the past that I found that said, oh no, this will not grow in your area. Oh no, this won't grow in this area. Or I've heard people say such. And I'm a darer. I'm a trier, and I want to see it for myself if it's gonna work, because it may not grow for you, but what if it happens to grow for me? Then I could give you tips on what I did to allow it to succeed and to actually grow. So I like to try the odds, even though they say, oh, this isn't going to work. I still try it anyways. And it's either, okay, it does work, or okay, it maybe doesn't work. Because we're all different. Our soil is different. The way we care for our plants are going to be a little different. They'll be similar, but they're still different. Now, another tip that I have for you guys is also when your plants don't seem to be doing so well, or if they get hit with a cold frost, which is what happened for me on year 3. I had a freak frost happen right after my frost date, a week after planting out my peppers, because I planted those all on my last frost date. And you guys, boy, did they stunt my peppers. They stunted my peppers so badly that the last week of April was our last frost date. I did not start getting peppers until August of that year. Now, I wanted to pull them badly. I did trim them up where they needed to, but I gave them time. They were doing the foliage, but they were not growing in height. But they did eventually grow me some peppers. Wasn't a lot of peppers, but seeds want to grow. So give your plants time to bounce back. Also be realistic though now as well, if you're depending on like this type of crop for the year, to have a backup. Another thing is that I've learned, and I learned this because I have a pond and my mother had a pond where I had my garden, is to adjust to your ecosystem. And what I mean by that is, for me personally, when I'm gardening, I grow overly enough for my family, because I also know I have an ecosystem of birds, squirrels, bunnies that love to live between me and my neighbor's home, and I don't mind sharing with them. Cats, things of that nature. Though I have an outdoor animal who's outside partially, still at the same time, it doesn't stop them from possibly eating any of my vegetation. Now, you can deter that, of course, by having like bird feeders in the yard and different little things like that, but at the end of the day, I'm going to adjust to it. I also know having a pond actually can cool down the atmosphere around my garden. Just like with my drip irrigation, I know it'll keep it cool. You can adjust to it in regards to how you plant things to keep certain things in the shade. If you have trees in your yard, that'll adjust to your ecosystem as well, in regards to not having so much heat in the garden, because in the summertime, a lot of heat on your plants can definitely stress it out. So the very last thing though that I had for you guys is cutting your plants at the base of the soil. When it's time to clean up the garden, a lot of people don't mind pulling out their roots. I just suggest to go ahead and cut them at the base. Let the roots deteriorate and break down in the soil and be a great benefit to your worms and what other microbes may be in the soil. So you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my tips. And I will see you in the next video though, you guys. God bless. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.